Okay.
I'll check too, because we may have some upstairs.
That was Johnny shot at.
So,
Okay, so.
I don't take off. You can do that if you want. You can. And then if you want to leave while everyone's involved, just come back.
You move over another chair.
That's on YouTube. I'm putting it out there.
You being there, that's totally involved. He's going off on everybody, everybody has to come to the platform. Or move it aside because we're in heat. I just got that
So
one.
why would he need
So that'll be a new challenge for us. How they're gonna move it inside, keep everybody cool.
Okay, so you know the
Oh,
property that's
They'll
directly across
cross
from me.
They probably would do that, but I don't know how they'll settle that.
Since I'm so close to him,
I hope they realize that.
So it's nearby.
make sure that it's outside.
The Hall of Fame was in, it turned out to be from there. I think we're shutting it for like 300 years.
I was getting.
So you'll, yeah, you'll be there. We'll get our bigger price there. And then we'll set up. Saturday, on Saturday. We want to get everybody set right by the way you.
It's pretty like it outside.
The Cypress. You, the historian is gonna be doing our Cypress discussion. So you'll be.
I didn't see anything else.
Carter, East First, and then.
I said, first of all, before I go.
That goes off of that. So. We always do the process first, because normally, all we do is just read the file and make sure they move on. But since since these two guys have done some pretty marvelous things, the historians are coming in from astronomy in Arizona, and they're gonna do the presentation.
Woodshop teacher that doesn't know woodshop.
I'm assuming he'll get 10 minutes because he's doing both.
Okay.
We're doing
I
both
got
at the
it.
same time.
I'm going to go ahead and open the Board of Public Works and Safety. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets,
Present.
Greg Miller,
Present.
Megan Sheets.
Present. Okay, we have the minutes from the July 10th, 2023 regular meeting.
I'll make the motion, we approve the July 10th, Board of Public Works minutes.
Second.
Roll call please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, next we have the claims that have been given to us by the clerk treasurer's office. Did we put any requisitions? No requisitions.
We did not have any
Okay.
requisitions.
Make a motion, we accept the claims as presented tonight.
I'll second.
Roll call please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye. Okay, next we have public comments, and would you prefer just to wait until we approve the?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and recess the meeting at 5:04 and open the public hearing. And it's the committee recommendation for the fire station, box process.
So, we, at the last meeting, got a committee recommendation, from the committee who considered and evaluated the proposals for the build, operate, transfer project for the fire station. And the committee recommended, moving forward with Envoy's proposal. And so this public hearing is an opportunity to allow the public to comment on moving forward with the build, operate, transfer project, and or moving forward with Envoy construction.
Is there any comments, questions?
No.
Okay, I am going to go ahead and close the public hearing at 5:05 and reopen the Board of Works meeting.
So at this time, if the Board of Works would, so choose, it can approve the committee recommendation and accept the proposal of Envoy to move forward with the fire station build, operate, transfer project.
I'll happily make the motion that we approve Envoy's proposal to proceed with our new process for a new fire station.
I second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
And then the next step in the build, operate, transfer process is to authorize somebody to continue negotiations. We're working on a public-private agreement with Envoy Construction. We have a draft that we're working on, but we will need somebody to kind of act as the representative of the city to work with those negotiations. It might make sense to have a member of the council finance committee be that person to work with me and Envoy to move forward with the PPA. It will need to be approved by the entire council before it is signed, but that would just allow one person to kind of be the point of contact in discussion.
That being the case, I see Eric Woods is a member of the review process of regarding the proposal. Being president pro tem and a member of the finance committee and very long-standing member of the council, I would like to suggest that he be the contact for that.
So what we would need then, Megan, would be a motion authorizing the negotiation of the public-private agreement and appointing Eric Woods to serve as the point of contact for those negotiations.
If I'm able to state it correctly, please correct me or adjust me if it needs to be, but I'd like to make the motion that the individual to serve on negotiations for the work on the bond process with Envoy in the public-private agreement be named as Eric Woods.
And to authorize the negotiation process.
Thank you, and to authorize the negotiation process.
I will second that motion.
You got the easy part.
Beginning to end.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Now, who's gonna tell Eric that we just put
He's on vacation.
He's on vacation?
I will happily do it.
Okay.
Any discussion?
Never know what's gonna happen when you're gone, right? Okay, next we're going to go ahead with the department reports. Chief Scott Shoemaker.
Good evening.
We're good.
Good.
We're good.
Canine.
Canine. There's an agreement, I don't know, did you get the agreement?
Yes.
Okay, good, I got it, I just wanted to make sure the board had received. That's a canine ownership transfer agreement, which in summary, the Frankfort Police Department wishes to retire Canine Bane from active service with the Frankfort Police Department Canine Unit. Officer Bo Smith was the canine handler assigned to Canine Bane, and Officer Bo Smith desires and has requested that the Frankfort Police Department transfer ownership and complete responsibility for Canine Bane's care, food, veterinary, detention, lodging, etc. The City of Frankfort, what I would ask the City of Frankfort Board of Works to agree to allow this transfer, and Bane's official retirement date. This agreement will be dated for August 3rd at 5 p.m. at Frankfort Police Department. We'll have a retirement ceremony for Canine Bane. If the board would agree to transfer the ownership.
Make a motion that we accept the canine ownership transfer agreement as presented by Chief Shoemaker.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, that is approved.
Thank you. Last year, we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Rossville Schools Corporation to provide emergency response if there was some sort of active shooter or any kind of emergency that required additional police officers. And that partnership with them, thankfully, we've not had to respond there for any reason to assist their school police. But we have formed a partnership with the Rossville School Police Department and through Dr. Hanna and their school chief, Tommy Dillingham. One of the ideas between both Rossville Schools and the City of Franklin Police Department is for us to transfer a 2015 Ford Explorer SUV to them, and then when they go to trade in vehicles, to provide us with a vehicle that we would be able to use for our crisis negotiators to respond to different calls in Frankfurt. So I'd ask the board, I don't have a resolution, I would
2309.
to pass 2309, which authorizes the clerk treasurer to sign title and donate the 2015 Ford Explorer, which the vehicle has a mileage of 130,895 miles and is no longer in use by our department. So I don't know if Alicia, you want to add anything?
Not specifically, I think you covered it. I can answer questions if anybody has any.
I remember seeing the picture of their vehicle that would be coming your way. I'll make the motion, we approve resolution 2309.
Second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Resolution number 23-09 passes.
Just a quick update, the crash that happened at the police department on Saturday, the damage to the vehicle is now $11,000. Still working with that individual's insurance company. I'll know tomorrow if they had insurance. If not, then we'll file it through our insurance. Other than that, no department report tonight, so that's all I have.
Okay. Anything for the chief?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Chief Stidham, Fire Department.
Good evening. I know it looks like I got a lot, but not that much. Alicia, I couldn't do this stuff without her, so she's done a great job with these contracts, fire townships that we're going to cover. She's also done a lot of work on the EMS agreement as well to try to make sure that things are a little bit more clarified. So just to kind of touch base real quick, what we have is the approval for Center Washington Union Township. Those contracts, one of the biggest changes that we made to those contracts is making them a 2-year contract versus just a year-to-year contract. Union has always been like a 2-year contract, but the rest of them's always been 1 year. So, with the impact on the financial side of everything, I don't see a lot of things changing in these townships over the next year or 2 years. So we felt it was kind of important to just go ahead and start making them a 2-year contract versus just a 1 year. So what I'm asking for is approval with Center Township, Washington Township, and Union Townships, but I think you guys have a copy of those there with you. We haven't really changed the rates at all. The only biggest change is the 2 years, going from a year to 2 years.
We also have Jackson Township too, is that?
Sorry, Jackson Township as well.
Sure.
Yeah, so there's 4. So you'll have Jackson Township, Center, Washington, and Union.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the fire contracts for Center, Washington, Union, and Jackson Township as presented by Chief Stem.
I'll second. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Okay, we got that taken care of.
Perfect, thank you. The fire truck purchase, just so everybody's aware, that's really nothing that we will discuss today. That's going to be more with the bot process. We've talked with Envoy a little bit about the purchase of these trucks and how important it is to start getting this process finished up, so that way they can place this order. Because again, once we place the order, we're still 3 years out from getting that ladder truck. So Envoy's aware of that, and we've actually had some conversations today about maybe setting up a meeting with Pierce and kind of doing a Zoom meeting and starting to let them get some of that information as well. And then as far as the bot process goes, once
Right, so I spoke with them also today, and the goal, which may not be attainable, but the goal is that we can try to potentially have a special meeting of the council to approve the public-private agreement and get that kind of done as soon as we can, but before August 1st if possible. It may not be possible, but we're going to try very hard. If we can do that, once that public-private agreement is signed, they can go ahead and place that order for those fire trucks, and then we will fall within the time frame for the lower prices. If we can't do it, we're gonna do all the things that we can to make it happen, but it just may not work out, but that's the goal, is to try and do that. And Envoy has been working really diligently to try and get that done as well, so.
And just so the board understands what's going on with those prices is, August 1st, they're gonna have an increase in the price. It seems almost a quarterly thing that they're having increases of pricing on their apparatuses. And the second biggest thing is there were 75 spots left to place the order to meet the EPA guidelines that we currently fall under. If we don't meet that criteria, the cost of these trucks could go up considerably. No one has an exact idea yet. Could be $20,000 to $120,000 per apparatus. So that's kind of go off of the list there. That's why it's so important for us to work towards this, at least to maybe get the order placed on these trucks to save a little bit of money. They told us, or they have told me, that even though the 75 spots are taken up, if we place the order, because they gave us a 30-day quote, basically, if we place the order within that 30 days, that they'll honor the price that we have. So that was kind of the rush, I think, that Alicia was talking about a little bit about.
Right.
Again, if it's not attainable.
Right. So I have spoken with Envoy, and they are going to get me information on how much time they would need to finish up their portion. We've already got a draft of the PPA to them from the city side, and then they're working through their side, and then there will be some more back and forth. But I've spoken with them this morning about how long it would take to get their portion done, to get it back to me, so that Eric and I could discuss it and see if it meets what we were looking for, and then potentially get a city council meeting together. They have not yet told me what that time frame looks like, so we're gonna do the best that we can, but we have to give 48 hours notice for any meeting that we're gonna have, and we have to make sure that we can get a quorum and have time for legal to review and all of that. So we'll do the best that we can, but that's where we are.
Last thing we have is EMS transport agreement. This is that interlocal agreement that I had handed out the other day to everyone, just to kind of let you see and had some issues with. Again, Alicia's done a great job. She's put a little bit of effort into it to kind of make sure that things were covered. A couple of the things that we want to make sure that was covered was, how we're going to get our supplies, and that Clinton County EMS is going to supply us. If we use equipment on a patient, then they can resupply us versus us having to pay for all of this. We look at it pretty simply that they're getting the use of, 12 firefighters every single day going on EMS calls with them. This is the least they could do for us. The last thing is the protocols, as it states there. Alicia did get that changed to where, our personnel will follow under the guidelines of the protocols. And that's what it is, policy procedures of the Clinton County EMS protocols. And what that means is that in the front page of all the protocols, there's about 10 pages that says, this is the standard that we have, this is the type of care that we're going to provide, this is what BLS does. So I myself, as a fire chief, am perfectly happy with that. I have no problems with that because it's what we've always followed under. But we just wanted to make sure that that was clarified in there, that we're following under the procedures and policies of the protocols, not of Clinton County EMS. And those would be the changes that we made. So I'm just asking for approval for us to at least get this agreement approved, and then we can get it to the commissioners for their approval.
Just so Board works, just so you know, the version that you're looking to approve is the one that has Megan's name on the very last page. Because you had an older version that a couple changes were made after you got that version. So make sure Megan's name is on the last page and not on the next to the last.
Any questions on the transport agreement?
based on Alicia's review and your determination that it is complete, correct?
Yes.
And I know, Greg, you're familiar with the verbiage and intent of this document, so I'm happy to make the motion that we approve the interlocal agreement with Clinton County EMS to be presented and executed with the county then as well.
A second motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, we've got that approved for you. I think we all have to sign that, don't we?
Yes.
And that is all that I have. No, I've had no cars run into our fire trucks or anything like that, so I have nothing else to report today.
I do have a quick question, and it's knowing where we are on the calendar now, and then as I mentioned, Eric left this morning for vacation, I'm assuming at least a week long.
Okay.
That puts us at the end of the month and so forth. If you're ready to pull the trigger on some of that negotiation, should we come up with an alternative to Eric in that event?
That would be a great idea, Megan.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if he's gone on vacation, I didn't know when he had left, but if he's gone for a week and we need to have someone who's accessible, I hate to bother him while he's on vacation, so.
He's, not even in.
He's out of state until August 8th.
Oh, okay.
And that's their meeting. And then Steve Grizzly is also a member of the finance committee, is also gone. So by default, I am the last and third one on the committee and fit the other criteria. I'm happy to serve in that capacity, but I was hoping you're available. So if it extends, the timeline extends, let's approach Eric, but if not, I'm happy.
Okay. That sounds great. Let's
Should we just
do,
make a motion and make them?
yeah, let's do a motion to make Megan an alternate, and then that way, if the timeline doesn't extend, I can reach out to you, and if it does end up extending, then I'll reach out to Eric.
So I'll let Greg make the motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that Megan Sheets be the alternate to the committee recommendation, the fire station lot process authorizing Megan to represent the city of Franklin.
I'll take it, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Thank you, Megan.
I have no vacations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jason, oh, sorry, Parks Department.
Several things to go over with the Board of Works in reference to the events at Prairie Creek Park. The first one would be the J.C.'s organization in their Oktoberfest event, which would be on October 21st this year. They are requesting alcohol be served at that event. They'll also have Monarch Food Beverage Trailer, and they are requesting to do some fireworks that evening as well, expecting possibly 1,000 plus people. That'd be at Prairie Creek Park on October 21st of this year.
We do have someone here from the J.C.'s if you have any questions. Brandon. Questions?
There's no question. I also noticed that closure of Washington Street for a time, and so is it too early to relay that? to the
Good,
police
Mayor, you
department?
good to go with that, Scott?
So, very good. I'll make the motion, we approve the J.C.'s event for October 21st at Prairie Creek Park.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, that approved, Jason.
The next one is for the United Way of Clinton County. They're asking for a fee waiver for their kickoff event on August 30th from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Prairie Creek Park. I expect about 150 people at that event. That's their kickoff event on August 30th.
I like the motion, we accept the application agreement for use of Prairie Creek Park for United Way of Clinton County on 8/30/2023. Also, that the fees be waived.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets. Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Thank you. The next one is for Center Township of Clinton County for their overdose awareness event on the very next day, 8/31 of 2023, from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saying of 150 plus people, and they're asking for a fee waiver for that event.
I'll make the motion, we approve Center Township, request for Bird Creek Park reservation on August 31st and waive the fees.
I second the motion.
Roll call please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
And the last one is for a Morgan Crum for a wedding reception on November 4th of this year. They will have alcohol at that, at Bird Creek Park that day with an attendance of about 150. It's November 4th, 2020.
With this application, we have, the area down below for those to be, initialed for completion of that, is that?
This is just the online version, and they do sign that. I did not include the signature page with your copy. I can start doing that if you would like. They sign that at the end of the online process.
I think just as long as it's been signed and verified it's been signed and filled out through the.
Katie Ann doesn't send them to me unless they've been signed properly, so.
I'll make a motion that we approve the use of Great Creek Park for Morgan Crum on November the 4th, 2023 for wedding reception.
I'll second the motion. Roll call please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Yes,
Just want to make sure I knew this was the department report.
it wasn't, but it's too special meetings not to share.
Just happy to announce that our pickleball and our new tennis courts are up and running. They're open. The mayor and Kimberly are working with the chamber, I believe, to get a ribbon cutting for that location. But found out earlier today, we had about 16 people out there last night already using it. So that was good, and had a lot of good feedback, and some information pop up today that we'll talk about. But yeah, everything was fantastic, and we went out and mowed around it today and cleaned up some dirt piles that were there. Some old asphalt was there. We have a sign that we're going to be putting up pretty soon. There was some an additional coat of something that we need to put over the sign just to kind of make the sign last longer. But we do have that in hand. I purchased that stuff today, so we'll get that done probably tomorrow and get it put up somewhere over there. It was the original Wayne Scott sign that was there. Just naming the tennis courts like it were before, but we just got a different, nicer new sign. So as soon as we get that done, we'll get that placed over there. And, so yeah, it's great for that's new pickleball courts. 6 pickleball, 2 tennis. So
Thank you, Jason.
When I drove by, I could ask you the same, but there are 2 like things on the ground. Looks like a,
yeah, those they're gonna come back and get those.
is that Crenshaw's or something?
No, they belong to Adam Colson.
Okay.
Group, I think it was an auger that they helped.
Yeah,
drill
that's,
holes in the tennis courts. So he's aware that they were there, and street department removed, like I said, that dirt pile there, and parks went over and really spruced it up today, so it's really nice.
congratulations, thank you.
Thank you, guys, appreciate it.
Good news there. Okay. Can we click on her? Okay, Dawn, Building Services.
I have a couple contracts that have come before me today. And Alicia, did you get this one?
No.
Okay. Let's talk about the Intact first, the management group. This is Tim Clark. Kimberly has made a lot of connections with Tim. We had a meeting, we being the mayor, myself, and Kimberly with Tim Clark. Tim runs an organization that helps communities, I guess you could say, get all their ADA analysis and transition plans and all the things that their titles four policies put in place. Earlier in the year, I attended a video conference on ADA, and the state of Indiana is really up in the challenge in the fact that they want to become one of the best states in the union to make sure that ADA is taken care of in a proper manner. We have a few challenges that need to be taken care of, and Mr. Clark is going to, if passed by the Board of Works, will be helping us with our transition plan and Title IV policies. I know the state of Indiana likes for us to have a list of items that we're looking at taking care of and then scratching the things off and adding to it as we progress down the line. And Mr. Clark is looking to help us with that. Kimberly has, as I said, made a lot of contact with Tim Clark, and on the bottom of the page, on the first page, it basically talks about the cost to get us through the end of the year is $10,000. And I have in my account two places where I can pull money from to offset those costs. One being the senior building inspector's line. We can pull $6,000 if the council will so choose to do so. And we can also pull $6,000 from the property management administrative assistance, Rule 2, as she has gone to a part-time status. So we would be able to pull $12,000. We also have probably an additional $1,000 in our fund for contract services. That's where all this money would go to, into our contract services fund, to offset the cost for the first year to get us to the end of the year. And I think that's an important case. I know that it affects the ability to receive grant opportunities for the streets in the city of Frankfort, along with just making sure that the city of Frankfort is taking care of all of its citizens in the city of Frankfort. So I know that this contract has to be brought before you to see if you are willing to look at it or even willing to sign it, or for us to continue on with it. As you can see, I just give Alicia a copy so that she can go over it also.
Dawn and I met this morning with Cheryl Martin, and that's how we came up with these figures, the amount of money that we would have left. So that would take council action to transfer from the 100s down to the 300s, but that would still leave them a little bit extra in the personnel services. So I think it would be okay if, if the council will go ahead and do that, but it's really important that we have somebody help us. Right now, we're struggling with our ADA transition plan and also our Title VI plan. So Kimberly's been helping on it, and Dawn and myself have been meeting, and who was it we talked to the other day, Kimberly, and they said that NDOT is really getting more strict on those type things. So
he's helping the county as well. So he's with the commissioners.
Yeah. Tim told us that he really looks forward to get more strict. And even if they didn't say distinctly that you didn't get it because you have that, but if there were 3 people that applied and 2 of them had it and we didn't, they're going to overlook us. So we don't want to be overlooked for federal grant money, for sure. And they're asking, when does that have to be passed by, our transition?
October 1st.
When?
October 1st.
October 1st. So we'll bring that before the Board of Works sometime before October 1st and hopefully get that so we can turn something in for this year. We're not going to have all this done, but we'll have a good start on the transition plan.
So once this analysis is complete and this is finished up, then who will be our local contact person that will oversee that compliance?
Don, according to his position as planning, that's one of his responsibilities is ADA. And
you're looking at probably classes that city employees will have to attend to on a yearly basis to understanding the ADA's what to look for or what to help out with. So that's probably part of the policies that will be put in place.
So Don, along with Kimberly's been helping us to keep us in line there. To make sure we get everything done properly. Because she helps a lot on the grants, and she's helping Jason right now with another grant for Mash Roads. So it's important that she stays up on the ADA compliance as well.
So with the approval of this, would we be approving just the stage 1 or stage 1 and 2 for this year and next year also?
Just one. Now, we would have to ask, which I told him if we have money left, because we're gonna go ahead and try to transfer 12. If we have any left, we could encumber it for next year, but he said next year, 18,000, that's just what he thinks. It's $150 an hour, so.
And stage 1 would be complete upon council approval to be able to transfer that money.
Have any thoughts on this solution?
No,
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I think so far what I've read, I haven't seen anything that's concerning about it. I think, it's a limited term engagement, so, doing a specific project. The only thing I would say is that, we've got the quote for both. So if we did want to approve this for both, phases of the project, if we did want to only approve one stage, we should make sure that we include that in the motion that we're only approving stage 1 at this time, and then we would consider stage 2 at a later time, if that's what the board wants to do. If you want to approve both, that's fine too. But
Would we put it like, I don't know, pending funding or?
you could approve both phases, subject to appropriation by the council or something like that. And that way, if there's funds appropriated by the council, then we could move forward with both.
Because during our budget reviews, we could certainly put in this 18,000, make the council aware, see, no guarantees, of course, but maybe approving phase 1 and 2 pending council information. I'll make the motion that we approve the contract for Intech Management Group, both stage 1 and 2. Stage 2, pending budget approval and council appropriation for 2024.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
So we probably need to get a contract to sign. Did he say, is he gonna send us something, or is that?
He wanted
thinking we're
Alicia
gonna
to put it together.
Huh?
He wanted Alicia to put it together coming from the city.
Okay. So I need to do an independent contractor agreement for stage 1 and stage 2 then?
Yes.
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
We just want that for the next meeting then?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, let me make a note.
And one of you might let him know that we approved it and that we will be.
And the other contract that you have is from the Well Dam Group. This is the opportunity to hire a part-time building inspector. Alicia, in this case, has looked over the contract. I've attached to the contracts Alicia's suggestions. This is a PDF file, so I do not have the wherewithal to make the changes. I could redline a couple of things that she had asked to be removed, as in the contract both said that the payments must be made within 10 or 30 days of the invoice. And I struck out 10 because being the fact that we do paying by Board of Works meetings that, I didn't want to get into being late for anything. So I thought 30 days on the date of the invoice, we'd be able to get covered as far as getting it paid if so choose. Also, obviously, this was a contract that was done in Hendricks County also, as we struck Hendricks out of there. I had wrote on their Clinton. And then the last thing that Alicia has asked that we included was that we would have, the city of Frankfurt would have the right to retain or hire other contracts or to have contracts with other individuals that provide the same or similar services. And I ended up putting that on at the very back page or close to the back page on Exhibit A, where it said building inspection and plan review services.
Okay.
So that's where I put this at. And I may have to send this back to you, Alicia, because I don't have the ability to adjust a PDF.
I can change a PDF, so I'm glad to make those changes if that's what you'd like me to do.
So if they so choose a contractor, and if you want me to send this back to you, I can.
Yeah, that's no problem. I'm glad to just scan that and email it to you, and I'm glad to make the changes on the PDF and then get it back for
Okay.
signature.
And we currently have contracts with Sam Kane and Jason Passmore.
Which is
So,
why I wanted to include that
yes,
language, that they're
yes.
not our exclusive.
My next question is, do we want to have him for the inspections and also plan reviews or not? I'm not really sure what the plan reviews would be, but.
Oh, go ahead.
The plan review would be like, for example, ADM is getting ready to build their offices out of their plant. And so if it would be a plan that I don't think that I could go through and understand to make sure that everything in it was proper, I could send it off to them. I don't think that we would do anything like that. You get into a plan like the county annex issue, I probably would do a plan like that because of the complexity and the largeness of it. But, you know, here's just an office plan, it's gonna be 2-story tall, and the fire inspector gets a look at it, and then we do also. Not a lot of challenges there, but we would not send something like that to them. But we would a larger set of plans to make sure that everything was set properly.
And one thing that I also requested to be added to this is that we add language in there that says on an as requested or an as needed basis. So that way they aren't expecting that they're just gonna get all of the plans, but it's just the ones that we specifically request they review.
And for that reason, I think it's wise that we execute this contract. Just, we may never use them, but we have it if we need it.
Right.
I'll make a motion that we accept the contract between Worldan Engineering and Frankfurt, Indiana, in regards to building inspection and plan review services.
I'll second that, along with incorporating the changes our council has noted. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Mayor, before any of this, when they sign a contract for, we do use it at all, I'll make sure I come down to have a conversation with you
Yeah.
before we roll it out, so.
Okay,
Because we're not gonna use these for everything that we talked about.
right, and we're hoping to get that position filled, so once we get that filled, I don't
Yep.
feel that we would need them, other than if somebody was sick or off, that, you know, we couldn't
Yep.
get it filled.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Alicia.
All right, with the completion of the tennis courts and the pickleball courts out at TPA Park, we're ready to move forward with, the Dorner Park pickleball courts. And so we have an invitation to bid for asphalt reconstruction project for those. That would just make the asphalt ready so that we could add those pickleball courts, once, the budget allows for that. So Jason and I worked together to get an invitation to bid, and we're hoping to have that for the August 14th meeting that we could open those bids. And so if the board approves that, I will get that submitted to the newspaper so that we can get those bids received and get moving on that project.
I'll make the motion, we approve the invitation to bid for pickleball courts at Dorner Park.
Second motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, so we'll see that this gets police should put a publication date on it.
I
But you think we'll be okay? for the
I
next-
think we will, because we've got 2 times at least a week apart, 7 days before, and I think when I calculated that out, if we got it published Wednesday for the first time, I think we are fine.
Okay.
But I'll double check that, and if not, I can adjust that timeframe, and then it could be for the, I'll make the change to the second meeting, if that doesn't work for publication.
Yeah, because I think we have budget Monday, so. we should
Yeah, I
have
think
that.
that's right.
Are you gonna?
I can, yeah, I'll submit it,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
We'll make a note to do that.
Did you have anything else?
No, I didn't.
Okay, unfinished business, I think I sent an email to you from Rodney from CRK, Rodney's actually here tonight to talk to us. I think it was an email and some pictures. Do you want to talk to us, Rodney, a little bit about what you were thinking?
Just putting up an awning and not having the tables and chairs out there at the same time and the grill twice a month.
We talked the other day about, we were okay with Hot Dog Festival, right? And Labor Day is what we had talked about. I'm not sure where we're gonna stand on the other. Have we decided where, because of this safety reasons and,
I think, the picture that I saw last was the awning out in front, while the grill couldn't be under the awning, correct?
Right.
So, just rather than me rely on my memory, tell us the configuration again.
So instead of doing it in the street, the other picture I had would be on the south side of the awning in front of the Edward Jones building,
So it would be
where the
on
grill would be.
on the sidewalk.
Yes.
Have you talked to that establishment if
Yes, and they were fine with that.
they were okay with that?
Yeah.
If
so
that
it
would
would
be,
not be in the street?
No.
Okay.
and twice a month would be on your Wednesday, or for the Wednesday evening?
Michaela and I talked real fast about this, and I was kind of under pressure to come up with dates, so it's not set in stone.
Okay.
But Wednesday evenings is one of them.
I think we had really kind of had our discussion before about wanting to be able to comply as best we could. We appreciate your business so much, and I call it patronize it, but we also wanted to be cautious about the allowances and how it might, the scope for other establishments around town within that same perimeter from the square and so forth. And so I thought to begin with, we had settled on the dates of the Hot Dog Festival weekend and the Labor Day weekend starting out and limiting it to that at this time around. This is our last discussion that I recall.
Right. And that was in accordance with the pictures that we had and how that was set up originally with that awning and also the grill and the seating for that. And my understanding, the grill and seating was out at the same time, the seating in front and the grill.
No, what you guys approved previously, that table and chairs would not be out there at the same time.
But there had been another table set up off on the street side of the parking lot space that I saw.
It was under the awning
Oh, it was under the awning, and the
Yeah.
grill was out,
and yeah, about 4 feet from it.
so. I think because we have a lot of eating establishments around the square and kind of to block off the square, it's kind of the area I think we agreed we wanted to be protected and be considerate of. So once our thought, Rodney, was once we allow some of that, it's kind of hard to claw that back from others that want to do the same. And maybe during the festival timeframe and so forth might be the logical compromise. So that's where we were heading. Not to squelch your business and your
No.
opportunities at all.
Not a problem.
Because we're really appreciative of your talents and your efforts.
And I think that to see how that works and to get some positive feedback, because you may be at the beginning of that, of how, that could be set up. If we look at other establishments for that, if you have success with that or have ideas on how that may work, because there's not a lot of space in a lot of areas downtown. So I think to see how the feedback comes back from you on how successful that would be, if that is something we could open up to other patrons down there, or other businesses down there for that. I mean, I think it's a great idea to get people downtown there to have, but I think it'd be a great opportunity to see how that would work, so. In those busy times, there'll be a lot of people there to get that feedback, I think, from the Hot Dog Festival and those times, so.
Now, are you gonna be open at your place at the Hot Dog Festival, or will you be somewhere?
No, just the hot dog festival.
Okay. And also you have the 2 tables out?
I do not yet. I'm still
Okay, that's what I
shopping.
was gonna ask you.
I want to go start with one and see how it goes.
Oh, okay. I wondered, because I didn't think I'd seen them yet, so I wondered if you were putting those out and how that was going so
Yeah.
far.
It's coming soon.
So, I agree with Greg, I think we should stick with our original thought, let's be a starter plan and see how it goes and how it's received, and how we, if it's possible, be adapted for more later, and with our other patrons downtown as well.
So I guess see how the Hot Dog Festival goes and Labor Day, and then we'll decide from there if it's something that we think we could do, at different times throughout the summer.
Sure.
Or fall.
By the way, I had to mention table for lunch. Actually, it's gonna be lunch and dinner, it's so plentiful, so.
Yeah.
You didn't bring us any Alphaneer cheesecake, did you know this? I wanted to try that lemon stuff too, because it's looking really good.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I haven't found anything that's not good. They have the best BLT in the city, I'm telling you. Okay, next we have the senior building inspector job description. We were gonna make a change on that. And who they report to, currently it says to the Director of Planning, Building Services and Housing, and we're going to change that to the Board of Public Works and Safety. And then also under supervision received works under the general supervision of the Board of Works. I'll remove the Director of Planning. If I have any comments, questions?
Good planning is just an opportunity to let both positions, if you will, absorb all the vast responsibilities that they each will have on their own, and although housed maybe in the same office compartment with shared staff. So I like the direction, and I'll make the motion that we approve the minor change, if you will, in the building inspector job description.
Second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller. Megan Sheets.
Aye. Okay, we're hoping to have a new building inspector soon. We're working on that, so. Does anybody have anything else? Kimberly? Anything else? Okay, motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, everyone.